drawing eyes. So you heard, right? I mean, how many songs can you think of that starts with Naina, eyes, aankhe, kangal, kannagal? How many songs can you think of? Type down in the comments. What are some of your favorite songs that has mentioning of eyes? We played some here. These are some of my favorites. What are yours? Give it a thought. You know, eyes are so precious, right? Eyes are so precious that just with eyes. So, you know, you have all these songs, Jab se tere naina mere naino se. And it's like just one eyes, right? Ha, Naina from Dangal, yes. Just with eyes, you can emote, you can express, and you can know what the person you're seeing. Just if you show the eyes of person, I mean, isn't that just crazy? So big we are, so much parts, so much organs, yet small part, and you can know what the person is. Such is the nuance, such is the magic that eyes can create. Just by learning how to draw well-placed eyes, beautiful looking eyes, you are going to create realistic life-size looking portraits. Okay, so the previous session we had learned about the fundamentals of drawing eyes. I hope everyone's attended the session here. Yes, comment in I if you are part of the previous session. If you're not part of the previous session, please comment in N missed it. Okay, Vidya missed it. Okay. See, this today's session is going to be built on the foundation of the previous session. I really hope you watch the recording. At least everyone has watched the recording of the previous session, because really today's and the upcoming session as well, it's all built one upon another. It's all built one upon another. So if you're finding it a little difficult to catch up, if you're finding it a little difficult to catch up, don't worry, just follow what we are doing now. And then later on you can rewatch the previous session's recording, and you can do it. All right. So with that said, let's start. Okay, let's start with tonight's session on drawing eyes. Yes, let's do this. As you can see, here is an image of the eye. So I will also share this image in the WhatsApp group for you. Your suggestion that you would like to see the image that you're drawing has been taken seriously, and it's there. And another thing is that a lot of you wanted the recordings in one place, right? You found it difficult to find what recordings of which you had to continue come up as ask. So now that has been there. I've already forwarded the entire recording link to you. If you have not received it yet, if you have not noticed it, please do look into the group description. You will find all the recordings. You'll find them in sheet format. So month after month after month, you can just go through each of the recordings. All right. So here, you see, I have this position. I have this positioning for this eyes. Now I want to start drawing this. The first thing that you want to know before drawing eyes is, have a look at this. Okay. In the image, in the reference image that I've shared with you, the one on the top is what we drawn. Notice how the eyes are symmetric from the center, the left and the right, both the eyes, it's like mirror images, right? Just how one eye is, the other eye as well, you can find, correct? You see the similarity between both the eyes, it's obvious, it's pretty obvious. The second interesting thing is the gap between the eyes. Every time you're drawing eyes, the spacing between the inside edges of both the eyes should be such that it is equivalent to one eye. See this? It is a universal proportion. You can test this out in yourself. How can you test it out in yourself? Just clip a pencil. So it's that you are seeing the testing the position, the width of an eye from the inside edge to the outside edge. Clip the pencil and clip it. You will see that it is exactly ending. It is exactly maximum. Is it different for anyone? A common mistake that I have seen with a lot of people, well-intentioned people, is that you either place the eyes too close, which is the most common thing I've seen. You place the eyes very close, or you know, it's very far. The most common thing I've seen is it's placing very close. here's what you need to observe. Every time you're drawing ice, a pair of ice, a set of ice. In today's session, we're going to draw a set of ices compared to the previous one where we drew only one eye. Always maintain the gap between both eyes to be a one eye, right? I hope that is clear. Now let us draw a line. So this is the line, the symmetric line that I'm going to set at the center. Okay, this is where I'm going to draw my eyes. I will also draw a line at the center. I'm also drawing a horizontal line. This is how where I want my eyes to go. You can make this slightly curved. You can make it slightly curved. That is up to you. But you can set this here. Alright, you can set your eye. You can set the placement and the positioning of the eye here. All right. So that is it. So now you have the. So now you have this. The next thing what I want you to do is I want you to set one edge where you're going to draw, the other edge where you're going to draw the eyes. Amongst this, where are the extreme ends for both the eyes going to be? I want you to set that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to divide this into three equal parts. Three equal parts. Three equal parts. So let's just see. Let's have a look at how big one needs to be so that I can divide this into three equal parts. So here I have this one here. I can just test this and place this here, or maybe whatever I'm drawing, I have to ensure that it is equal from the center. It is not just important that you're making it, placing it in three equal parts. You have to also ensure that it is equal from both the sides from the center. So let's see here. Here's one eye. Yes, okay. So this isn't right. This is not right. Okay. So one eye I have done here. Okay. I think it's best I use a scale as well. Let's see this here. So currently this is 18 centimeters. So each of my eye needs to be 6, 12 and 18. There you go. So from the center, it is 9 to 12, 9 to 6. Okay. 0 to 6 to 9 where the center is, 9 to 12 this end, 12 to 6, 18. All right. So now I have divided this into three equal parts. I hope it's clear for you right now. This dividing into three equal parts immediately helps me understand, immediately helps me set this set the frame right. Okay. So now that you're seeing this, the next step here is you're going to draw circle here. See, you're going to hold the pencil loose and you're going to draw freehand circle. So what is this circle going to do? This is your eye socket. Remember, we learned about eye socket. So you're going to draw freehand. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It just has to be a freehand circle. In order to ensure that both the circles are of the same size, you can also draw lines like this. So you can just draw lines like this. So this ensures that both the circles are of equal proportion. Okay, of equal size. Like you're connecting it on the top with the line on the top and on the line at the bottom. Notice how we are using a lot of guidelines here to aid us in the process. We're using a guideline at the center, you're using a guideline at the top, you're using a guideline at the so many different positions. Okay. Done. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to divide this circle, each of these circles into two equal parts, just so I can get the center of this. You may double check this with scale. Let me double check this with tail and the eyebrow. So right now you have something that looks like wheels of a car. Okay. So this is what you have right now. Then the next thing what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to now start by making the divisions over this. See, this is where I know the inner edge of the eye is going to be. Most often, a lot of times what we do is we tend to first draw this inner eye. We tend to draw this eye and we do this. But rather what I want you to do is I want you to start from the outer edge. Notice here, this is where your inner edge of the eyes is going to be, okay? It is this part that we are drawing. This part, the inner edge. So then at some part here, I'm going to have the nose coming in. You notice that I'm going to have the nose coming in. So you can just leave a little bit of gap and you can just draw the nose line. So this helps me set the proportion right. Some artists are in the practice of first drawing the nose line and drawing the circle around it, which is also an approachable idea, practice and a way that you can practice. We are just drawing the circle so that you can you can exactly piece it out from here. But even this is also okay. Okay, so now I'm drawing the thing. Whenever you're drawing this line, you can connect it here. So notice how the eyebrows goes all the way from here. It comes like this. So here as well, what I'm doing is I'm extending this and it's covering so that this covers the eyebrows, and it is the eyebrows I am drawing first. See, similarly, coming from here as well, I can draw this. I can just draw this center, draw this part here, because I know that the nose, this part where the nose and everything else surrounding the nose is coming here. Then and I'm going to draw the eyebrows here. See, notice there are no dramatic curves here. There are no, it's nothing like that, because why? The eyebrows are also somewhat like that. You look at the shape of the eyebrows, they're more or less straight. But if I were to draw some other eyes, for example, if I were to draw these eyes, you can see that, okay, if I were to draw, let's say this one, you can see that the curve is dramatic. So I would start with this and I will start by drawing a dramatic curve like this here, because this is how the eyebrows in this case is. Are you understanding? But on the other hand, in the one that we are drawing right now, it's hardly there. There is absolutely nothing there is there. So I can just, I need not hold that and I can draw like this. So you can just set this up and you can just draw this. Okay. You can draw so you can start your construction of the eyes with this. Then notice what I'm doing here. I am just, just to, so that I can get the sense of depth and perspective much more correctly. I can start by working on the areas around the eyes. For example, you can see that there is this area that's coming here. You see this? You see this shade, you see these contours that are here. Are you seeing these, noticing these areas that are here? Start by working on the areas around them. They are much more easier to get and they can immediately help you get the sense of expression, the depth, everything that is needed for drawing the eyes correctly. Notice how even in this one, notice how the curves are coming, and it's in fact, see this line that we are drawing, it's here, right? So notice how even for this, these lines, these curves are coming and coming here. You might want to have a look at those. Okay. You might want to have a look at those, and notice I have slightly curved these so that I can just get the sense of depth and 3D little more better. This is something, this is a trick you can do so you can get the much more depth in the thing. Just curve. Don't be over dramatic with the curve. Just to give it a slight curve. Okay. Done so far. So now you have worked on the areas around the eyes. Let's start with this itself. So first what I'm going to draw is I'm going to create these areas surrounding the eyes. So I'll start by drawing this one. And notice how this part starts from the inner edge. Similarly, this part also starts from the inner edge. So what I'm really drawing is I'm drawing out the lower eyelid. That is the first thing I need to do. Okay. So you can start with the upper eyelid or the lower eyelid, whatever you're comfortable with. I am starting with the lower eyelid here because I don't know, I'm just getting into the flow in this way. Okay. So start with this. Notice how it does not have to go all the way down. See, what we have drawn here is basically the eye socket, the space where your eyes can be held. I think the screen, no, screen is working fine. So can you all hear me clearly? Is the screen visible? Is it clear? Comment in yes. If you can see, everything that's happening, if you can hear everything that's happening, then it's easy to follow. Looks pretty clear from my end. If you're still facing some issues, probably, just make sure that your connection is on point. Okay. So I have this. See, notice what I'm placing here is basically the eye socket or the hole in which your eyes can be. So what I am drawing now is the lower eyelid. You can just touch and feel that the lower eyelid need not go all the way till the eye socket. It's actually placed above here. So that is what I'm drawing. Notice this one. So I'm just drawing the shape and it's going to come slightly above this. So I cannot tell you how big. I cannot tell you how much gap you need to leave, this much centimeters, this much millimeters. Remember when we learn to draw human figures, it is very easy because I could exactly tell you head, 2 times body, 2 times this. Here the proportions, what matters is you have the eyes, the gap, the inner and the outer. You have this, both the eyes are same. The gap between both the eyes are also the same. As far as proportions are concerned, this is all that there is. Until this point, you can follow the rules. After this, what you do is depending upon how your hand moves, how attentive you are, how much practice you're doing. Notice I'm not using the word talented because I really don't believe in talent. It's about how much your involvement in the process of okay. So I've drawn this shape here. And let's start with one eye. Let's start by just drawing one eye and then we'll move on to the other. Okay, so I'm drawing this one. Okay, and here as well, I'm drawing this. So now I have the eyebrows. Okay, I have the eyebrows that are coming in here and it's coming like this. Okay, it's slightly sharp and it's coming here. You can shade them. You can slightly shade them so you can actually get the full depth and sense of what you're drawing. Okay, the eyebrows, this part of the eyebrows is outside of the eye socket. This part is going inside. That's how it is. And it's connected to the nose bridge. In the upcoming session, I'll teach you how to draw nose. So we'll put the nose and eyes together in another drawing. All right. So down here, after this, I'm going to let me just erase off some portions here. So now after this, what I'm going to do is I'm blocking out this portion. You see this portion? This portion that is above the eyelid. See, in this one, the eyelid, the upper eyelid is very small. This gap here is pretty big. And I'm going to draw this gap here. So you can use the previous technique that we had learned, wherein I am drawing out a golu here. I'm drawing out a oval here. Then I'm drawing an oval here so that this curve comes. And from here, I'm drawing this. I'm drawing this edge here. So now I have the eyebrows and I have this edge. Feel free to divide this into as many surfaces as you want. It's up to you how much gap, how much space you want to leave, how you want to go about with this. So you can just draw the area surrounding the eyes as well. Can draw the area surrounding this as well. And there you go. Okay. So now I have drawn this. So far I have drawn this upper space. I have drawn the lower eyelid. Now I can get to the next portion, which is the upper eyelid. So I'm just drawing the upper eyelid here. Notice for the upper eyelid, I'm not going to draw an almond shape like we had learned. Okay. The line that I'm drawing is this. I'm going to draw this line. I'm going to draw this and this region. So here for the upper eyelid, see this? Is blocking this part here. It's coming here. Then slightly straight and then a bend, a turn here. Similarly, I'm drawing the line just below it where a curve is coming here, slightly straight, and then a turn. Take me until I get this and I'm drawing the node. So focus on one line at a time. Focus on one line at a time. One line, just get that right, and the entire eye is here. Okay. Notice how the approach on this, how this eye is slightly different from the one that we had learned in the previous session, but the approach remains similar. Okay. So we have this. And now after this, and now what I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw this. I'm going to draw this part here. This part dividing the lower eyelid, and I can slowly get to drawing the eyes. So like we had learned previously, we are not drawing the eyes as such, we are drawing the areas surrounding the eyes. So notice how this shape is going to be similar to this shape. This shape is going to be similar to this shape, and I'm going to draw this first. And this shape is going to come here. So this is similar to this is similar, and then this part here, this side is going to be slightly similar to that. You can just curve this, you can take this upwards, you can curve this, and you can focus on, pay special attention to drawing the node here. It's very important. Draw the node, and once you are thoroughly satisfied with this, comment in EYEI. So now we have the structure of the eyes ready. So at this stage, this is the stage you can correct. You can work on this part, this one. You can adjust this node here. If you feel the curvature here is not correct, you can correct. You can adjust that. You can work on this one here. You can work on this one, and then you can slightly darken. You can darken these areas because these areas are what's going to matter the most. You can darken these. Hi. Okay. So you can just adjust these. I'm now working on this. Notice there's a small area here. There's a small plane there. And I want to work on that. I'm going to the small plane here, the small plane. Before drawing this, I want to draw this as well. Just leaving a little bit of gap. Okay. So now after this, I want to draw the remaining, I want to draw the scleria. So what am I going to do? I'm going to draw this, draw a circle here. So notice the lower part can be seen fully, whereas the upper part is only partially visible because it's covered by the eyelid. When you're drawing, don't draw an incomplete circle because that might make it little complicated. But rather you're going to draw full circle, and the full circle, you're going to draw it around the line that you have already drawn. So here's a center line. Based off this, you're going to draw a full circle whose base touches here. And that is exactly how, my friends, you're going to Congratulations, you nearly have got this. See, now you can see the eye that's coming. Let's work on the surrounding areas here. Let's draw this as a slight shape here. You can draw that. You can draw this part here. And just, just work on, just make a few strokes on the surrounding areas. So you have these eyes ready. And there you go. Shall we add an iris to this? Yes. Let's add a quick iris to this as well. So notice how when I'm drawing the eyes, I'm immediately just drawing one portion here. See, one portion I'm immediately drawing, and I'm shading this because this portion here, it immediately darkens it up. So the top of the eyes, you notice it's dark. The top of the eyes is dark. So I'm just setting it so that it looks dark from there. And I'm going to now draw the iris again. One smaller circle. A common mistake I've seen a lot of people make when drawing iris is you are drawing it around the center. This is not how it works. Okay, this creates a very creepy looking eye, but rather the iris has to end at the center. You see that it has to. It has to end at the center. See, that is how it should look. So now that's a realistic looking eye right there. So you can have this. You can just define this, adjust this, and See, you're getting that? I can adjust the eyebrows and make this slightly sharper according to, just bringing some adjustments according to the So now what's missing in this? Eyelashes. So eyelashes, regarding eyelashes, you are not to draw them, right? Do not draw them around just lines like this. Do not draw them like this. But rather you're going to put them in groups. So 2, 3 eyelashes are coming in groups. And you're going to slightly bend them here. It's a common practice to darken and shade this area. You can do that. So this is a male. Very small eyelashes. Female eyes have very long eyelashes. That's a common difference between both male eyes and female eyes. There you go. That done. That's one eye there. So I done, drawn. Yes, happy. So when you're ready, we can move into the next one here, the next eye here. I'm going to add a little bit of shading on to this. Okay, so I'll just use the pencil and I'm going to add a little bit of stark bold shading here. Then I'll want to add a little bit. You can add these strokes from this far end to inside. Notice how I'm not going to be using a lot of pen into this because it's again, if I had to get into shading with pen, you can draw the outline, but to get into the details of the shading, it again becomes a very complicated process where you're going to learn all about contouring, you're going to learn all about detailing and rendering. It becomes, what do you say? It becomes too much. So we're just starting out. Let's just do this here. So you can draw these lines from outside to the center as though they are spokes of the wheel, and you can do this in this just light shading here. You can shade these areas and just place my strokes on them here. Can shade the eyebrows here, and then you can shade these regions. Just a few strokes there. Few strokes there, and you can just shade them. See, little bit of shading, and that will help add a lot of depth to your drawing. Just some strokes there wherever wherever you want to add in the effects there. Okay. So notice I left a lot of gap areas white. For example, the whites around the eye, then the whites around the eye, these areas where there is not a lot of shade needed, I'm just leaving them white. Whereas I'm just focusing on adding shadows only to the areas that are needed. So that's one eye for you. Let's move. Similarly, now we are going to draw the next one here. Okay. The same step, same procedure. Let's put them here and see how they work. If you were to do pen shading, you can do the same over this. You can outline, you can add a solid outline with that, then you can hatch them. But then hatching with pen becomes a much more complicated process, which is why, I'm really not getting into the nuances of that. So here, let's repeat the same process, the same thing. The challenge here is that you're going to have to make the same, both the eyes look the same. You're going to have to make the left and the right eye look similar. So you might have gotten one eye correct, but then the other eye, you might face difficulties. You might see it's slightly small, you might see it's slightly big, whatever, but you're going to have to fix that here. So don't hurry, don't rush, don't start by drawing the eyes. How did we start the previous one? We started the previous one with the eyebrows, right? So again, you're going to use the same procedure here. This time my focus is on this eye. I'm going to start with this eyebrows here. So notice like how I'm going to draw first from this part here. It's going to come out. It's going to come here. Okay. So we start with this. And we can start by drawing these lines here. We can draw them here. Then I'm going to work on these areas outside here. So I can draw these ones. I can draw these lines. Then I'm going to draw so now that this part is here, I'm going to draw the lower eyelid. So the lower eyelid, again, it needs to start from here and it needs to come down. In order to make sure that both the eyes are coming right, you can in fact draw connecting lines between both. See, sometimes what happens is you might draw this slightly higher, you might draw this slightly lower. If you have got one eye correct, you can just link, you can just draw a pen line connecting both and you can see if they are matching well. For example, see, I've already noticed that in mine, it isn't, it's actually slightly up here higher. So I better work on that. Now I can adjust this. I can bring this lower here. Okay. So I have corrected this part. Similarly, I want to work on the upper eyelid, upper region as well. So again, I can just connect it. I can connect it like this. I can draw a connecting line from here and I can do that. You can use a lot. You can really be very liberal with your construction lines when drawing. So don't get desperate if you are trying out, you're drawing a lot of construction lines in the beginning and your drawing looks messed up. Everyone learns like this. You see, everyone learns like this. And from there on, you pick up, you learn and you pick up and you grow over time. So don't worry. So I'm starting out by blocking out the region outside here. So now as I'm blocking out the region outside, I can slowly see the other eye forming already. So I'm blocking out this region, this part here that's outside. I'm blocking this out. This part too, I'm blocking this out. So this eyebrows, I'm just adjusting it here, focusing on adding more depth on the top. See, you're slowly forming the shape. So as you're slowly forming the shape, it's very important that you don't get impatient. You get patient and you're slowly trying, You have to be a very keen observer. Notice every small bend. See, so there is a angled bend. You notice every small bend, every small curve, everything. You're being an observer of everything. You're being an observer, and you have to be attentive. And with the attention, the intensity, the fire of your attention should be such that all other thoughts burn away. And that is how sketching becomes a very relaxing process, because you're worrying about everything. You're forgetting about every other problem. Otherwise, when just left alone, it is said that an empty mind is a devil's workshop. So you keep on thinking unnecessary things. You can't say that you're thinking, rather, it's like the thoughts are running you, the thoughts are controlling you. So, and it becomes very difficult. On the other hand, if you proactively sit, if you focus, if not, at least for a few moments, you will see that you're relieved from all the burden, you're relieved from everything else. You're just here. There is paper, there is pencil, there is you, and there is the artwork in front of you. That's it. You're creating something, and you're an active part of the process all along. At times, you experience a gap in the stream of thoughts. At first, these gaps will be very small, sometimes so small to the extent you might not even observe it. But eventually, they will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you will find a Zen state where there is a gap, there is an emptiness in thoughts, no thoughts. But no, it's not like you're losing your mind. Don't worry, you're not going to lose your mind. Rather, once you come back, to your regular life, you'll be much more refreshed, active, and present. You're just freeing yourself from the compulsive flow of thoughts. Take art as a meditative process in this way, and it becomes extremely enjoyable. But on the other hand, if you're focused purely on the outcome, that this eye needs to be here, and you're constantly comparing and this one, then you're going to miss the entire point here. And we're not doing this so we can be pro artists. That's not what you're here for. You're here so that you can enjoy the benefits of art. Notice here the shape. Pay very close attention to the shape of the eyes here, okay? So you can see that there is this node that I'm drawing, and then there is this curve. There is this curve that are coming, that I'm coming. Curve that I'm coming. And then this part here, see, it's pretty sharp and it's to the point. It's straight and it's coming. So there's a straight and there's a curve that's coming here. Then here, and for this part, just as this part bends, you're going to curve this part here. And just as there is a slight area that is straight, there is a slight area that is straight. And just as there is this curve here, you're adding a curve here. So let's work on this internal area here. You can add a small plane here. Okay. Small plane here. Don't lose your focus. Slowly get there. The small plane here. And then, so just as I've drawn this part, this eye, then this part here, you can also draw the circle eye. So when you're drawing this, you can also double check. You can just extend the line from here and just double check if this is matching. See, for example, my line, it's extended and I can see that it's matching. I can see that this part is matching, fair enough. I can see that this lower eyelid is matching, fair enough. Typically, people draw lower eyelid, center, upper eyelid, this top and the upper eyelid, 4 lines or even 5 sets of lines. In the center, you can see people draw. These lines are not there just for fashion, but it's there so that it can help you. It can aid you in your process. I can also measure like this and I can see that my drawing here is 6 centimeter. And this eye as well is, it is this eye as well from the 10 to 6 is also 6 centimeters. Yeah. 1 millimeter here can be shortened. Just a small adjustment I can just make here so that one or just one and a half millimeter I can adjust here. The gap between the eyes as well, I can see that it is exactly 6 centimeter. So I know that I have an eye that is going to be symmetric. Okay. So now here we are going to draw another circle. You're going to draw here another. So I need to adjust this the way I feel it's a little flat and I want to adjust that here. Okay. Just adjusting these eyes a little bit. You might have to rework on them repeatedly until you get just what you write. Even a small difference. For example, this part here, this upper eyelid, I can make a small adjustment. To a lot of extent, this adjustment can even be very minuscule, but it helps just get the right angle there. So this part I can just bring it in and there you go. Let's add the remaining part. So here as well, there is this top area. So I can just add this. I can just show this shade here. And then I can So now you can just darken these, you can darken these outer edges. You can darken it here. You can darken this part. I want to shade these. I want to just show the, just be very rapid. Your work, so you can just show the eyebrows here. You can just add a little bit of these eyebrows that are coming out on this side, a little bit of eyebrows on this side. Just add this here. Just you can just this here. There's a slight sharpness here that I can do. I can shade these areas, just slightly. Just notice how I'm just putting these strokes gently. I'm just putting these strokes there. Not very harsh, right? Don't go at it very harsh. Just gentle strokes you're just putting in the areas which you can work on here. A little bit of stroke work here. You can add a little bit of stroke work here. See that? You can shade this area. We can shade the iris. Notice how the iris, again, just like the previous eye, is stopping at the center. You can shade this top region of this eye. A little bit of eyebrows from this center. You can just a few flicks here. Similarly, it's very light eyebrows here. See, notice how I'm shading around these regions. You can add a lot of, you can add some shades around this nose region. And in that way, you can just get a lot of depth work in this. You can add this here. You can add shading. You can work on these regions next to the eye. Just add a little bit of stroke work there, and there you go. That's it. So what do you think? How was this session? Eye-opening, unexpected? How was it? Difficult, hard, amazing, mind-blowing? I would love to see your work. I would absolutely love to see your work. As far as the sketching part is concerned, the session is over. But please do stay for the feedback. This is optional, but I would strongly recommend all of you stay for the feedback here, because a lot of additional insights you can learn. You can learn from our work. Please share your work. Please share your work in the WhatsApp group. You can take your time. You can take your time. You can complete. Okay, but please do share your work in the WhatsApp group right now, so I can look and I can give feedback on it. No problem, Avneet. Take your time. Oh, Ramya's already done her, and I think it's amazing. It's spectacular. Wow. Spectacular. Beautiful. Isha's drawn this too. Nice. Saujanya. Okay, all the eyes are different. Can see Sujata's work. Nice. Okay, Mayuresh. Okay, so I'm glad all of you have got eyes, right? It is one thing to, what do you say, before earlier, the problem was that many of you did not have any idea of how to do this. So now you can see that this is possible. It's not that mammoth of a task, right? It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, but rather it's just a few calibrated steps that you're doing them repeatedly. Okay. All right. You can keep sharing your work. In the meantime, just give me some time as I just compile your images for feedback. Okay. Let's move into the feedback. Feedback time. It's feedback in time. And if you're sketching right now, just take a moment, pause, and listen. So I have these 4 drawings here, and let's understand how can we improve on each one of these. Okay, so let's start with this one here. See, my first instance here is I feel that this is the gap between the eyes is a little too much and it can be corrected. Let's just see this one here. See, my predictions are correct. See this? Okay, this is how big. Let's use this with the aid of a scale. Let's understand. Here is this 2.2 centimeters. You can see this. Let's understand this one. This is 2.5 centimeters. You see this? This is 2.5 centimeters. How about the gap? The gap means I'm talking about the gap between the node of one eye and the node of another eye. It is 2.5 centimeters. Okay, see that? So this eye is considerably smaller. The problem is that in this one, the gap has been taken in such a way that this and this and this are equal. But that is not how it should be, but rather this into this into this, and this gap between the node of one and the node of another must be equal. Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing is the lack of symmetry. Notice as I'm drawing this one, I can see that even if I extended this, see, notice this, just extending the line. See how this eyes have come too much below. As you can see, it's too wide. It's too wide and open eye. These eyes almost look like this. It's too wide open. And this is not what we want, right? So you might want to check on the symmetry of this. See, how many of you are learning a lot? How many of you are learning a lot by looking at others' drawings and understanding what not to do? Okay, so here, let's look at this here. So on first instance itself, I can look and I can tell that both these in this, the eyes are of different sizes. Okay, let's just look at the top and the bottom. See, if I'm drawing a guideline from here and here, you can see that you can actually see that these eyes are much wider. See, not only is it wide on the top, it is wide on the bottom as well. Okay. Second thing is the gap. Let's understand the gap. So that is the first problem. Second is the gap. So it is 3 centimeters on one. It is 3.5 centimeters on the other eye. See that? While this is 3, this has become 3.5. Let's understand the gap here. It's 3. And please remember that the measurement I'm saying is the one that is on my paper. Okay, so I do not know whose drawing this is. Okay, and I don't think I will not be naming as well, but the measurements I'm saying will be different on your paper. It's for sure. For example, the length of my one is 6 centimeters, double the height, double the size. So what I'm stating here is simply the size that is on my paper. The matter is that not it is in the centimeter measurements, but rather the proportion, the sense of proportion. That is what matters the most. Okay. So here, I have this. All right. I have this gap here and here. Now with this. So this gap, this is already there. Next is the shape of the eye. See, the shape of the eye should not be like a sharp almond. For example, in this one, I'm seeing that it is almost like an almond. When you're drawing this, it is important that you do not lose track of the shape of the eye. In the previous session, we had learned that an eye, in the previous session, we had learned that an eye, when you take it like this, it is, when you take it like, when you draw an eye, it is not symmetric like this, but rather the shape of the eye is such that if there is a node, it goes up, long, slightly flat, and then a sharp bend. On this side, it will be long. Similar to this, this will be long, slightly flat, and a bend leading to the node. See, if you look at the symmetry of the eyes, this part and this part is mirror. This and this is mirrored. And that is how the eye is going to be shaped. And of course, around this, you have the eye, you have this, you have this, you have the, then we can draw the then there's the iris with the small reflection, shade this. All these comes later. But what matters is the shape. Okay. So in this one here, on first look itself, I can tell you that the gap between both the eyes is not the same. In fact, the gap between both the eyes is less than it should be. So here I can see it's 2.5 centimeter. Let's look at this side, 2.5. Okay, both the eyes are of the same width. Look at the gap here. It is only it is less than 1.5 centimeter. You see that? In fact, if I were to pull out the lines, I can see this one, this, see, it is clearly visible that the gap here is less than it should be. Do you all see this? So as far as the remaining of the eye shape is concerned, I like this. I certainly like this. The bend, the sharpness, all of this is there. You got the shape, you're drawing this, you've drawn the eyebrows. Okay, all of this is there. It's fine. But because of this one reason that the eye gap, is not there. The gap between the eye is not there. This does not hit the hit the right spot. You can also change, bring certain nuances and changes to the expression. You can bring some nuances to the expression. For example, the placement of the eye. You can just set the placement. You can set the placement of this eye such that it's coming here. It goes, it bends like this. It slightly comes here. It bends, and this part comes here. You can position the iris slightly lower. See, because the iris in this is placed above it, even in this one, the iris is placed above. It looks as though the person is looking up, but rather you can just bring the iris, the level of the iris down, and it will look as though the person is looking straight at you. These are some of the small corrections that I have in here. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. Let's have a look at this one here. So here as well, like more or less the proportion sizing is correct, but then again, the width of the eye, see, the width of the eye and the gap are completely different. For example, this is 3.5 centimeter. The gap is also 3.5 centimeter, but these eyes are, look at this, 4 centimeter. See, these eyes have become 4 centimeter. This gap here is too big. This one eye, both eyes are not symmetric. And it's for this reason that what do you say? It's for this reason that this drawing needs work, needs improvement. All right. So with that, we come to the conclusion of the session. I'll be sharing with you the practice exercises. We have our next master class will be on our next master class will be, I think, I think it will be this Saturday or Sunday. I'll just tell you the dates, but it's going to be slightly, it's again going to be a shorter class. I think today is Wednesday. Yeah. Our next master class will be on Friday evening. And I'm going to teach you how to draw nose, add nose to your thing. So for your drawn eyes, let's learn how to add nose to this. And then the following session is going to be slightly longer class where we learn to draw both the eyes. So you get more practice on the eyes. You can see we are putting a lot of emphasis on the eyes alone. Eyes and then the nose. Okay. Yes. The morning sessions will be starting from 27 to be precise. Yes. So that's about it. Thank you so much. We are done with the conclusion of this session. Now it's your time. You may ask me any questions that you have, any additional questions that you have, any areas that you found particularly challenging, any something that you enjoyed the most. Please do this with me so that I can improve in the upcoming sessions. I can do better in the upcoming sessions. Over to you. Thank you. Amazing class. Enjoyed the class. You all have the permission to unmute. All of you have the permission to unmute. Please. It's up to you. You can unmute, Avneet.
Yes. Today's class was really amazing. The main problem which I am facing right now is to add the depth into the eyes.
Depth
That
as
is
in?
I have done 1 on 2 eyes. I'll share it again in the group. Can you see that?
In the WhatsApp group, it's
just wait for a second.
Shweta's eyes are very beautifully drawn, by the way. Wow, very beautiful eyes. Sadhana's is one eye complete. But you can try the other one as well. I'm glad you tried this. Do try the other one. Watch the full session, okay? With the feedback you can see. Avneet, okay. This image that you tried. Oh, did you try this?
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's very beautiful. I mean, this image, this shaded image. Wait, did you try that or the one below?
Not the shaded one. The
unshaded one. Okay, huh?
Yeah.
Pay attention to the shape of the eyes, Avneet. The curvature. You're curving it a little too much. The curve on this one is slightly gentle. This area, the curvature is a little too much. See, I'll just show you here. A lot of this is, see, as far as the theory is concerned, it's very limited as what you can learn. The processes we are learning, but then the observation is a key thing here. Notice the curvature in this versus notice the curvature in this. See, in this one, more curvature is coming towards the left side of the eye, whereas you have placed most curvature towards the center and towards the right. See, that in itself is making a big difference. You see that? So, and then in this one, the eyes are slightly closed. In yours, the eyes seem too wide open. Right? You're adding the eyelashes and all, but that comes later. Notice how a big part of the eye is covered by the eyelid here. Here I can hardly see the eyelid. You understand? So you'll have to, what you said, retry this again. Okay. Depth comes later. The shape is what matters. Small changes in curves, small changes. See, in the feedback that I gave, what is the difference? This gap between 0.5 centimeter less. Here it became 1, I became 0.2 centimeter wide. But that itself you saw when I pointed, it brought so much difference. Small differences matter here. And you'll have to be willing to try and try again. Okay. What else? Please. Waiting for you.
Sir, what should be the pupil size according to the eyes shape or
Right.
the eyeball?
So as compared to the eyeball to the pupil size, see the visible part of the eyeball, what you're talking about, the visible part of it is the pupil size is nearly 55 to 45%, or 55% is the black. Slight variations will be there, but it's more or less like, so you can see that in my eyes, clearly the black area is much more bigger. Right. Yes. So it's almost, what do you say, from the center, if you see this area is also almost 55 and 55 compared to 45, like 55% compared to 45%. Okay. Try different postures in the eye. One that is wide open, shock, one that is smiling, one that is, what do you say, like, see, that is held tight together.
Yeah, with the expressions also the eyeball changes.
Yes, the expressions also, everything changes. The what do you say, the
size of the pupil also changes.
Everything changes. So you will have to try, and you'll have to see. But one thing is that the gap between the eyes remains the same no matter what. Even if you're holding it like this, although it seems as though my eyes are coming together, it does not.
Yeah.
So some things remain the same, such as the symmetry of the eyes, the process that we are getting into, the gap, all those remain the same, but only trying different, just as in human figures, you try different postures and get better. In this, try different expressions and you'll get better. I'll be sharing you a link, it's a compilation, Pinterest images with lots of different eyes. So try it. Try. That's it. Yeah, after this, we are going to have, after this week, there's going to be a 1 week gap where you can just, practice, try with that.
Thank you. Sorry, I was late.
What happened?
I was late. I was very late. Yesterday I couldn't join. The day before yesterday I couldn't join.
That's okay. That's completely all right. So I guess that's it. Right? Let's end the session. We'll see you again day after tomorrow. Bye-bye.